This podcast contains strong language and discussions about relationships, sex, and love. It may not be suitable for younger listeners. This is the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast, and I am Nick Selena. Hi, it's Nick Selena, and welcome back to another episode of Can't Keep My Mouth Shut. Thank you for tuning in. As always, I love to have you back with me. I took a wee little hiatus from creating my content because I just needed some namaste, which I happily found, and now I'm fresh and back in the studio to bring you your favorite podcast episodes. Yay! And tonight we have I Don't Love You Anymore. Dum, 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 dum. Okay. Disclosure, you're all obviously tuning in thinking you're going to get me to spill some tea. That's not what this episode is about. This episode is way larger than that. We're going deep into not loving someone anymore. So, hear me out. I was thinking the other day, pondering, if you will, about the fact that we're all taught how to love, right? From an early age. We would come out the womb, gotta love someone. But are we ever taught how to stop? That's like, I literally was groundbreaking myself. Are we ever taught how to stop loving someone? Because actually, to learn to love other people is huge. You know, it's part and parcel of being a human. It's significant to not becoming a bloody psychopath or a murderer. We must learn to love. But we must also learn how to stop. And that's the bit that none of us are ever taught. We don't know when, how, or why you stop loving someone. And because we're not taught that, we always end up stuck in toxic relationships or relationships that are damaging for us, friendships or work environments that are making us not good, like from the inside out, destroying us. But we don't know how to stop loving. So we carry on. And that is why I've done this episode. Because I was like, hang on a minute. I always talk about love, falling in love, dating, when to fall in love, but I've never spoken about when to fucking stop. So here we are. First episode back in, new me. Holla, Nick Selena, let's stop loving people. Okay, that came out wrong, but you get my drift. So for me, I'm going to, a little bit of personal experience. I do struggle to stop loving. So once I have decided I'm in love with you, friendships included and family members, this literally extends to any person you have a relationship with. When I decide that I love you for all of your faults. Because I know I have faults. None of us are perfect. So if someone comes up to me and they're like, oh no, your person did this, they did this, did you know that person did this? And I think, well, I've done some shit. Mate, I've done some shit. Fuck me. No one's got to enter the Nick Selena files of the past, all right? I reveal what I reveal when I want to reveal it. But yeah, I've done some shit. I've said some shit. So I always think, okay, well, that person's done that, but I reason it for them. I always look for the good in someone. And if I'm romantically in love with you, you have my heart. Like you have everything. I take everything. You have my heart, my mind, my body, my soul. Like anything. My bank account. I flew that fucking cunt over from the UK after 2.5 years of long distance. As soon as he got over it, he started treating me like a piece of shit, let me pick up all the bills, argued over having to contribute to rent, even though I paid for him and I housed him in the UK as well. And then fucked off and tried to make me like I was the problem and, yeah, enjoyed local delights, shall we say. But when I broke up with him, I was fucking devastated. I couldn't stop loving him. And that's kind of my personal narrative. The same with the fiancé. It's so nice to sit here and say, I don't love you anymore to any of them, but it takes so long for me to get to that point. Yeah, I feel so free and so happy to say, I don't love you anymore. But when I look back on how long it took to get me here and the pain, oh my God, the pain that I went through to be here now, I look back and I think, why didn't you just stop loving him, you fucking twat, Nix? You absolute moron. Like, I mean, not nice people, but like the fiancé lied from day one, raging alcoholic, lied even about being at work, slept with prostitutes behind my back, did all sorts behind my back, proposed, did more shit behind my back, and I still loved him. Even when I found out, I still loved him. I still gave a fuck if he was all right. I still cared if he was in pain. And when he crawled his fucking ass back to me about 8 months later, because he cried once, I was like, oh God, are you all right? Because he cried once. Whereas I'd been like unable to eat, unable to sleep, I'd lost my home. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, when should I wish I'd gone, oh, here's the proof that you're a cheating scumbag. And not only are you a cheating scumbag, right? You pay for it, you fucking loser. You have to pay for it. Fuck off. And then gone on with my life. Like, right, you've shown me what a cunt you are, so I don't love you anymore. But it don't work that way, does it? It doesn't work that way. And there lies the fucking problem, which is why I'm doing this episode. Because I'm like groundbreaking information. They teach us how to love, but they don't teach us how to stop. And being able to stop loving someone is paramount to creating your own boundaries for yourself, to creating the best, healthiest version of yourself, to enter into a healthy future loving relationship with someone who deserves your love, to putting up with shit versus going, no, I deserve this, this, and this, and this, and this, to manifesting your own future and your own potential and stepping into your whole self. All of that will come as part and parcel of when you learn how to stop loving someone that's not good for you. And obviously, you know, there's a premise to that. It's got to be someone that's not good for you. You don't just have like the most incredible partner and go, do you know what? Don't love you anymore. Yeah, I just woke up today and I thought, I don't fucking love you anymore. That's not what I'm saying. Well, like, all right, Dad, thanks for everything you've done for me. Don't really love you, so bye. Please don't go and do that, guys. Nick Selena said I need to stop. No, Nick Selena's saying we must learn when to stop loving someone. And like beyond expansion, beyond the, you know, romantic relationships. Let's look at everything. Like I had a friend who was telling me about their alcoholic, an addict friend who was staying in their house and basically treating it like a fucking hostel, lying to them, drinking all night, drinking their life away, not clean, like treating their house like a fucking garbage bin. But this wasn't a one-off. This is like what this person does. Of course, they're an addict. And I was just like, you need to kick them out. But I could tell that they loved this person. This is a long-term friend. And that love for that long-term friend was overriding the misery and shit and pain the friend was putting them and bringing into their home, affecting their sleep, worrying about whether the person's topped themselves today or not. You know what I mean? Like fucking heavy shit. And I'm like, I know you love them, But no, you've got to stop. This has got to stop. And I was even that situation played on my mind, because it's like, but how would you, you feel like you're abandoning that person. And that's how I felt with my fiance. I felt I was abandoning him because he needed fucking help. He needs to go to rehab. He needs, therapy beyond therapy. Because I could see from an outsider that the reason that we're going to alcohol and we're going to gambling and we're going to sex is because we have deep issues like trauma that's not been dealt with, right? So it's all masked. So I felt, because I could see all that, as the person closest to him, I was abandoning him by putting myself first and saying, well, I don't want to marry someone who fucks whores, for instance. So it's a no from me. But it was still like hard, like, oh God, I can't leave him. I shouldn't leave him. I feel guilt. I feel guilt for leaving him. And that's my friend had the same guilt. I feel guilt for saying to this addict, please get out of my house. So you suck it up. That love brings in the guilt, brings in, I don't want to regret, I don't want anything bad to happen to him. And these toxic people can cause you so much damage. And your love overrides that until you're depleted. It's very difficult. What I believe now, firstly, well done me for stop loving. Woohoo, little party. That was my party popper. Actually, that just sounded like me opening a can of beer. Also, we'll do that to celebrate. Beer o'clock. Thank you. But I found the way to stop loving, and I stopped loving them without needing to find someone else. Mic drop. Because I learned in the last 2022, fun, by the way, that was a fucking riot for me. Not, please sense my sarcasm. I learned to stop loving by focusing on myself. So I did the therapy. I understood why I attract narcissistic cunts. I understood why I struggled to stop loving. I understood that I had to implement boundaries that I didn't know I have, standards for myself I didn't know I had, that anxious attachment style I didn't know I had. So the way I learned to stop loving toxic people was by loving myself, which I didn't know I didn't do, right? So it was only through fucking severe self-healing and going sitting and wading through all that pain did I get here. And I think it's so fucking important for everyone to do the same. We must learn when to stop loving someone. We must learn that loving someone doesn't mean that they're above loving yourself first. Did it hurt walking away from everything I had with him? Of course. And I don't just mean the fiancé. I mean the one before and the one before. It's not the only fucking boyfriend I've had. But you have to. You have to, because you have to love yourself first. And if loving yourself first means stopping loving them, that's what you got to fucking do. So many people slide into my DMs and they're just in fucking pieces about this person's doing this person's doing that, or they're going back with their ex, or they've ghosted me. And I'm like, they don't care about you. And I know I'm brutally honest, but this is why you come to me, all right? I'm like, they don't care about you enough. You're not their priority. So don't even make them part of your life. Yeah, but I still love them. Yeah. And stop loving them. Find every way possible to stop loving them. And that's the trick. Because that love where you don't know how to stop is why you go back every fucking time to people that are abusive, nasty, cruel, lying, manipulating, using you, cheating on you, abusing you in every possible way, abusing your home. You go back because you don't know how to stop loving them. You are trauma bonded, your brain is chemically bonded, and we need to learn how to overwrite that. And no one teaches us. Nobody. You have to pay for fucking expensive therapy. So now I'm giving it to you all for free. It's an incredibly important part of dating. been in any relationships, friendships even. Oh, the toxic friendships that I've had, that I've loved blindly. And these women just screwed me over. Literally bent me over. No lube. I'm telling you, strap on, no lube. That's what they did. And I would still blindly love them. Like, oh, my best friend, it's my best friend, it's my best friend. No, it must stop. This is the era where we stop, okay? So if you're in this situation with anyone in your life, you just repeat after Nick Selena, I don't love you anymore. And you say it to yourself as much as you need to get it in your head that you don't love them anymore. And the way you do that is you put the healing work in yourself. And you realise, I'm not putting up with that, it's bollocks. See you later. And you can love them from afar. Like, I think, when did I stop loving the fiancé? I'm going to say December. December's when I stopped loving him. I left him in March. Yeah. I left him in March 2022. I stopped loving him December 2022. And it took me that long to stop loving someone that had, and even in that period, all these more shit came out. I found out about all the whores he was fucking. Like, I was just a token fiancé in his, game of prostitutes and all that jazz. Like, love that for him. Great life choice, babe. Keep going. But it still took me that long to stop loving him, even though I knew all that. So what I mean, we must be taught how to. If I could have stopped loving him by fucking May, June, that would have been fantastic. I would have saved myself 6 months of agony. But I didn't, because I didn't know what I was doing. But now I do. And here I am for you. That was actually quite poetic, wasn't it? Hey. But yes, believe me when I say you must learn this. This is important, right? And if you need help on getting to the stage where you can say, I don't love you anymore, and fucking mean it. This isn't like, oh, I don't love you anymore. And then you're stalking their Instagram all day. No. We're going to come from a place of, I wish you well. I hope the best for you. And I just don't love you anymore. I generally don't wish ill will on you. I don't wish bad things. But also, please don't come into my life. Stay far away from me as possible. I am so happy in my own lane, doing my own thing, and I love myself now. So, yeah, I don't love you anymore. That's where I want us all to get to. You see the difference, okay? I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much for coming back to me for season 7. Oh my God. Season bloody 7. What are we on? 4 years? 4 years of the podcast, I think? Fucking hell. You guys keep me so young. Thank you so much. Any requests for episodes, as always, slide into my DMs at Nixalina, Nixalina. And I'll see you all next week. Thanks for listening to the Can't Keep My Mouth Shut podcast. Produced and hosted by me, Nixalina, and recorded in the Splice Cast Studios in Singapore. I'm available to listen to on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, and all major podcast listening apps. Do subscribe to enjoy a new episode every Monday evening. Please do give me a 5-star review. It helps other people also find my podcast. For more content and features to read, you can check out my website, nixalina.com. That's nixalina.com. I'm also on social media. Simply search at Nixalina, Nixalina, to find me. Don't be shy. Come say hi.